Hey everybody, this is Kevin from Texas Yard Man and More, and here we are, the latter part of May 21st, and doing an update video, and just wanted to show you some of the growth in my backyard. I've got a butterfly bush here. It's a vine type, and it's got these beautiful flowers on here. You can see there's a bug right on top of that one. But the butterflies absolutely love these for the nectar that's in them, and apparently other bugs like them as well. See, there's some type of almost looks like a wasp, black colored wasp, but this has got blooms all over it, and you can see that it's a vine. It's crawling up from down here at the base of this fence, and this is a second one, and then there's one right here as well. So the second one came off of this vine and just grew on its own, and I just thought it was real pretty because it was got all these flowers on it. There's a nice cluster of them. And I saw the rabbits out here eating the ones that fell off of the plant. But these are all my wildflowers out here. This is a walkway that goes through the front gate. And these are canna. And these get pretty flowers. This one's getting ready to bloom out. And the rest is just an assortment of different types of wildflowers. And they were planted by seeds that I just sprinkled in this flower bed, and they're all different varieties. There's some really pretty yellow ones, and this one looks like baby's breath. I get a lot of that here. And there's different plants. They bloom different times, and here's one that's getting ready to open up. And here's one that is opened up. This is really pretty. And here's another one. And down there you get some pink colored ones. But this stuff looks like baby's breath. And here's some more. Another flower on this side. So these seeds, what happens is these seeds just propagate every year. They're perennials, so they come back every year. I just let them do what they want to do. These get these really sticky things on them, and then they stick to your clothes when you walk by them. And I saw some morning glory growing in here too. Here's a morning glory vine. But I'm going to take you back here to my grapevine. This is really what I wanted to show you. Back here is my Concord grapes. And you can see all the grape clusters here. And I showed you in an earlier video, every month I try to do a video just to keep you updated, but you can see all these clusters. These grape clusters. There's a wasp. But it's clustering. It's got all these grape clusters. They're green right now, but they're going to turn a nice pretty purple when they get ready to be picked. Let me come around to the other side here. This is a pomegranate bush. Still no flowers on this. I mean, it should have flowered by now if it was gonna, but we'll see what happens later in the season. Keep an eye on it. But we've got lots of grapes this year. I'm just letting this grapevine, you can see in there, there's a nice big cluster. There's another cluster in here too. Let's see if I can show you. Right there. And you just look all up underneath here, you'll see grapes just hanging everywhere. Let's see if I can zoom out. You'll see a bunch of clusters here. And here's some more down in here. And I've got a bunch right here. So they're all over this vine. I extended this post out further, so it's trailing along that now, and it'll just keep going. Every year it'll get bigger. There's a nice clump of grapes in there too. So I'm just watching this thing as they turn a nice color purple. I will harvest them. But I pruned this in the spring, so that really seemed to have helped it a lot. You know, this is going from there all the way down to here. I'd say it's about 18 to 20 feet from end to end. And just a beautiful vine this year. So we'll come over here. This is my new tree. And it's coming back. I had planted it. I was worried about it that it would die, but this is my newest fruit tree. And it's got some new growth. It's just focusing on growing this year. And you can see I cut it back from up here just so that it can encourage growth down there on the leaves, but it gets plenty of sun there. Delicious fruit that comes off of it. I'll put the name of the fruit tree in the description. But got all kinds of plants here. I got my fig tree here. This is a Celeste fig. And this tree is doing a lot of growing this year too. It's probably 3.5 feet, 4 feet maybe. And it's got little figs on it all over. You can see the figs. And I just letting this thing grow and get bigger. And here's my nectarine tree. This is over 6 foot tall now. It got at least a dozen beautiful nectarines on it this year that we ate, and they were quite delicious. Nothing super huge, but they were bigger than a golf ball, so definitely were tasty. So I can't wait to see what it does next year. It's just going to grow all summer, so that's good. It'll get taller. I'll just keep watering it and nurturing it. This is its really first full year at my house. There's the pear tree, which will be my next tree to produce fruit. It's got, this is a common pear. It's got pears growing all over it. There's a pear. And there's pears up there. They're growing all over. Let's see if I can zoom in for you. There's two. There's two more up there. And they're all over the tree. We'll just go walk around it here. There's two more. There's three actually. And walk around this way, see if I can spot any more. Just follow this tree around. And there's one right there. So these won't be ready till the end of August, on into September. But this tree is just getting tall. It's getting real tall. Almost 20 foot tall now. And then over here was my peach tree that produced peaches this year. And it's just focusing on repairing itself and growing this year. For whatever reason, because of the winter. Last year I mentioned that we had hot and cold in winter time. So the tree just kind of got confused and decided not to bloom any leaves on a few of the branches. This branch right here has no leaves on it. But yet it grew up this main beam and decided to stop right here at this branch. And this branch has nothing on it. And the same thing over here. It's got growth on the lower part of the tree down here on that branch, but nothing up here. And I've been talking to some other fruit growers, and they said that has also happened to them here in central Texas. So I'm not alone. There's some more that did not develop any leaves. So this is the first time I've seen this. So there you got one big beam, and then this branch coming off that beam has leaves, but this branch does not. So it's kind of weird. It's like the hormones of the tree didn't quite know what to do. And so I'm going to leave them there and see what happens next spring. It'll winter over, and maybe we'll just get us, you know, so many chill hours that we'll get the appropriate amount and it'll produce fruit like it normally does. We got really decent sized fruit off of this year, just not as much as we did the prior year, but they were bigger because I pruned the tree and took off a lot of the overgrowth. So at first I thought, well, maybe the tree is mad at me because of that, but you know, pruning it shouldn't hurt it. And then I have my garden over here. I've got tomatoes and got lots of tomatoes growing here. And I made these planters out of 2x4s and plastic barrels that I cut in half vertically, and they make really good planters. They're not very deep though, just letting you know, maybe 12 to 14 inches deep at the most. But if you're planting things like peppers and tomatoes, it should just work fine. And then over here I have water troughs for cattle. They're 100-gallon size. You can pick those up just about any feed store or Tractor Supply. And I've just got tomatoes growing in here. It's probably overgrown. Probably should have spaced them out more, but I like to experiment and just see what happens. So we got tomatoes. A lot of these were volunteer tomatoes from seeds. And I've got individual plants right here in planters. So I've got cherry tomatoes. I've got lots of cherry tomatoes. These are really good. Just pop them in your mouth. Tastes really good. So these 4 plants here at least are, I think all 5 of those actually are cherry tomatoes. Actually all of them look to be cherry tomatoes. So everything you see in these planters are cherry tomato plants. And that's a house plant over there that I just took out here to get some sun and warmth, and it seems to really enjoy it right there, so I'm just going to let it grow. And over here are my muscadine grapes, and they seem to do okay there. I just plant things and see how they go, experiment. And these are just oak trees that I planted, or they're just volunteer sprouts. You can see that in one of my other videos. And there's another muscadine grape. So I am going to fertilize these. I like to use different types of fertilizer, but I'm going to use some Miracle-Gro on those. And we'll walk down here to my garden. There's my plum tree. I got some plums on there. There's actually still a few. Let's go over and take a look. Most of them are gone. The critters get them. I've eaten a few. But there's 2 remaining ones, and I'm just waiting for them to, I could probably eat them as is right now. There's another one up there, and they probably would taste good, but I'm going to let them get a little bit darker. And these plums taste really good. This variety, Methley plum, are quite tasty. I bet you if I looked around a little harder, I could probably find a few more. But these are the ones I'm watching. I'm going to eat these pretty soon, maybe tomorrow or the next day. And they're about the size, they're smaller than a golf ball. Just under a golf ball size. And they have really good flavor. And that's my fruit tree, my methyl plum. And these are crepe myrtles. They're beautiful decorative trees, or bushes, whatever you want to call them. There's a nice one. This is a citrus of some sort, but I've never ever gotten citrus off of it. Except for maybe the year I bought it from like Home Depot or Lowe's. But they don't do too well here in Central Texas. They do better in pots. But over here, these are some onions I got growing. And I decided to plant some peppers. Those are all pepper plants. And the two larger plants are tomatoes. You can see I've got some tomatoes starting on those. Got to zoom in here for you to get some growing right there. And this is my garden. I saved a lot of the leaves from fall of last year, and I just tilled them into my garden for a compost type fertilizer. And you just start your plants out and then transport them into your garden. Here's a mountain laurel. It says really pretty flowers on it when it does bloom. It already bloomed kind of earlier in the year. And this is a bur oak that it has leaves coming out of it, so it's doing okay. I'm going to grow this a little bit bigger before I transplant it. And here is my, this is a Thompson seedless grape. This vine seems to have nothing on it. I'm going to chop it down to about 3 feet. And I only got one spur coming off of it with foliage. And I don't see any grapes. But you can see that vine traversed all the way over. And I'm going to cut all that off. And just chop it down to size and let it do its thing next year. And we got all these flowers in here. Butterflies just love this area over here. So there you have it. You have an update. This is the May update for my channel. One thing that's new is you'll see I have a pergola or gazebo that I've recently installed, and I'm going to do a separate video on that, but it really complements the back patio. We really like it, and keeps the sun off us and rain. And I've strung some lights. I did have those that I made prior to having the gazebo, and those were for stringing lights, but I am going to take those elsewhere and utilize them. And there's a bunny. Lots of bunnies in my backyard, and they're borderline tame. It's almost like they don't fear me. They will run if I get too close. But this is a beautiful gazebo that I bought at Costco. So if you're looking to complement your back patio and you got a either cement patio like I've got, or if you've got cobblestone or any other type of patio, you might want to consider doing one of these. It'd probably be less expensive and you can put it together yourself. Recommend 3 or 4 guys or gals that are pretty good with building things, and you can enjoy your patio a lot more. Anyhow, that is the update for May. I will be posting this video soon, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up, comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you watching. Take care.